Did you ever wish that there was a way that you could help other people get you as an INFJ? You're probably really good at understanding and validating where other people are coming from, and you love it if they could understand you, but most of the time they don't. In today's show, I'd like to share a proven way you can help other people, friends and family members, understand you. Before we jump into the strategy, I want to tell you about a free gift I have for you. I just finished writing the INFJ personality guide. When I first found out that I was an INFJ, it changed my life in a significant way. I realized that I wasn't broken, stupid, or messed up, but I was just different. I had different strengths and different gifts to offer, and I saw the world in a very different way than most people, considering INFJs only make up 1.5% of the world. You may have heard messages like I heard my whole life, or thought inside my head more so that I needed to change and be like everyone else, and you might have always felt like you didn't fit in. In this guide, you'll understand what makes you tick. You'll take a look at the preferences an INFJ has, and then the underlying mindsets that drive your personality and make you think the way you do, as well as how to live a more purposeful life and pursue your potential while fixing some common INFJ problems. You can grab a free copy of this guide by texting the letters INFJ to the number 444999. It'll ask you for your email, and you can just reply with that, and it'll send it right to your inbox. Or you can grab a copy by visiting ispeakpeople.com/INFJ-personality-guide. Grab your free copy right now. As we start to get into this strategy, I'd like to share a caveat. Be careful who you share yourself with. In a previous show, I mentioned that it's wise not to throw your pearls to swine. Now, I'm not calling anybody a pig, but what I mean by that is that you need to be very careful about who you open up to, because some people, depending on how well they know you and what their personality is and what their struggles have been, may never be sensitive around you. They may not want to understand, and they might end up leaving you more hurt than before. So choose wisely who you really want to divulge yourself to. And usually that's a really close family member or friend that you want to get to know better, if not someone else. So just think about it long and hard, and maybe talk to someone that you trust about it before you go after this strategy, because in a lot of cases it might be better not to share as much if the person hasn't been trustworthy with you before. In their book Made to Stick, authors Chip and Dan Heath talk about why some words ring true with us or go right to our core or stick in our minds. And in their great book, they talk about a strategy for sharing a new idea, and one that maybe someone wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And the method they share is a metaphor or analogy, or you could think of it as an advanced organizer. And an advanced organizer is just another way of saying taking something that someone truly understands and using it to help them get something they don't understand. So let me give you a specific example. In their book, the Heaths talk about a fruit that most people, at least in the Western world, aren't familiar with, and that fruit is called a pomelo. I had never heard of a pomelo before, and I think they chose the fruit for this reason, but they start out by describing it with just a really detailed dictionary definition, which reads, "A pomelo is the largest citrus fruit. The rind is very thick but soft and easy to peel away. The resulting fruit has a light yellow to coral pink flesh and can vary from juicy to slightly dry, and from seductively spicy sweet to tangy and tart." Now, with that description, you get a pretty good idea what the fruit is like, but it still doesn't hit home like what they do next. And to drive the point home that analogies and metaphors and advanced organizers are great, they make a comparison. They point out that a pomelo is really just a supersized grapefruit. And that's the power of metaphors, analogies, and advanced organizers. Let me show you how you can use these to help other people in your life, those who are really close to you, understand you better as an INFJ. I'll break it down into 4 simple steps. Step 1 is to determine what you want your friend or family member to understand about you. There's a lot to you as an INFJ. There's a lot to every INFJ. And we have the capacity to go on for quite some time about things that are important to us that most people don't get or understand. it's important not to share too much at once, because if you become a fire hydrant, you will drown the other person and they might just close you off altogether. So I recommend starting small, but trying to prioritize. Maybe it's the fact that loud noises and bright lights easily overstimulate you. Or maybe it's something as simple as the fact that chores feel like a complete waste of time. Choose something that would mean something to you, but that isn't going to be overwhelming for the other person. Step 2 is to look for a similar challenge. So let me use the example of chores. Now, I know that chores aren't a challenge for all INFJs, but they definitely are for me, because I see most jobs that are routine and that you're going to have to do again as a waste of time. So I wanted to explain to my wife that the dishes are painful for me. So I was trying to think of something similar that was challenging for her. And my wife is an ISTJ, so she's awesome at doing dishes and chores, anything that, cleaning. She always gets her laundry done. Any routine maintenance tasks she's great at. So I was thinking of something that would be challenging for her, and what came to mind was long-term planning. Because sometimes I'll ask her to sit down at the table and, plan out the year, or maybe even a couple of years down the road. And she'll join me, but she has a hard time staying longer than 5 minutes. Her mind just isn't made to think that way. She always has a plan and a to-do list, but it seldom goes beyond a couple of weeks, unless it's the food for the month, which she will plan out, but that's actually really tiring and painful for her. So I decided to use that as my comparison. Step 3 is to craft and rehearse your explanation. When you're talking to sensors, it's really important that you are as concrete as possible and that you get to the point as quickly as possible. The beauty of this advanced organizer analogy, the comparison that you're going to make, is that it will be concrete and completely picturable. But it's also important that you can explain in a clear and concise way. And that can be challenging as an INFJ, because we have so much going on in our heads all at once, and we can tend to get more emotional and want to really drive the point home. But sometimes that explanation doesn't work, especially if you're talking to a logical, grounded person. So with that said, it's important that you take some time to maybe write out your ideas, or to, at least to practice them in your head, which shouldn't be hard for you, because most INFJs do that all the time. And then to go and share them with someone you trust to get some feedback. Maybe you want to record yourself and listen to it. Now, you don't have to spend forever, but it's really important that you do spend some time practicing and make sure you get your ideas down pat so that you can share them clearly and quickly in an effective way. Finally, once you've practiced and rehearsed your explanation, it's time to share. So think of a good time that you could share with the other person, one that you both are on good terms with each other and in a good mood, that you're more relaxed, and that you know that other person will be open, and then go ahead and share. And if you really value this relationship, then it's worth taking the risk to invest in it. But do think carefully about whether or not this person is a safe person, and you want to take the risk to invest in putting yourself out there or not. When I explained to my wife that doing the dishes was like planning 5 to 10 years down the road every night for her, she started to understand and give me a little bit more grace. Now, I realized this was a small matter, but it made a significant difference in my life. I still have to do the dishes, but a lot of the times my wife will try to do extra dishes ahead of time so I don't have as many to do when I get there, or she'll come and do them with me so that we can spend some time together side by side. And that means a lot to me, because I know that she gets me and understands me, and it's led to a better relationship between the two of us. I know a few other INFJs who have used this strategy successfully to their benefit and to the betterment of their relationships as well. So I hope that it benefits you and that it leads you to a better, more enjoyable relationship with your friends and family. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. For more INFJ videos, make sure you hit the big red subscribe button below. I put new videos out each week. And if you haven't grabbed your free personality guide, make sure you get a copy by texting INFJ to the number 444-999, or visit the link which I'll post in the description below. See you next time.